So how does dad and mom react when it's like, okay, I played baseball when I was little, but I really want to play basketball?
I think that they were great about it. I think there's a lot of ways that parents will handle that. And it's interesting for me to start thinking about that now as I have 2 young children. So how will I handle that at some point? But they were, sometimes you have parents who will really push a kid, and to some extent I think that's good, because sometimes that's where kids really, develop feeling, a sense of urgency. But I had 2, really loving parents who didn't really put any pressure on me. I'm sure my dad would have loved for me to play baseball, but they wanted me to do what I like to do, and were happy to see me happy playing basketball.
Do you follow baseball? I know you're very busy with your work and everything, and you have a family, but do you still follow baseball at all, or you follow basketball more than the baseball?
No,
as a
actually, as a fan, probably a little more baseball, believe it or not. Basketball season, we're so consumed with our own season that it's hard to really sit back and watch a lot of games for fun and follow teams. I do follow Miami Heat, being from Miami. I love watching the Heat in the playoffs. I don't get to catch too many regular season games, but I love watching the playoffs. And then certainly in the summertime, I'm a big Marlins fan, and that's when we do have a little more downtime. I do like watching the Marlins. I haven't had a chance yet to get home and actually see the new stadium, but I love watching the Marlins when I can.
Udonis Haslem, speaking of the Heat. So was Udonis with the Gators when you were there, or that was before you were there?
Yes, no, he was. I've been there ever since Coach Donovan was there. So Udonis was one of Coach Donovan's first recruits, and obviously a tremendous story. What a great guy. Could have gone and played a lot of different places and taken more money, but he stayed in Miami his whole career. Maybe the hardest working guy that I've ever been around. We've been around some really good guys, so a lot of respect for Udonis. So happy to see what he's accomplished, individually and as a team, winning so many championships. So yeah, Udonis, he's Mr. Miami.
What's it like being here in this program and with Coach Donovan? It's just been an incredible run and continuing.
It's been tremendous. I mean, I feel extremely blessed. When I got involved, I had no idea where that would lead to. I didn't know how long I would stay or how long Coach would let me stay. But to see him build a program and actually reach the pinnacle, which no one ever thought that would happen at the University of Florida, but to win 2 back-to-back national championships was unbelievable. And I've always said, as much as those years were great, to me the fun was the process of getting there, starting kind of almost at the bottom and getting there. And then after that was hard, kind of rebuilding. We lost pretty much all those guys from those teams, and to then get back and to see what he's done and get back basically 3 straight Elite Eights and competitive teams that basically have a chance each year over the last few years, to play in a Final Four. It's been amazing to be a part of that. I'm a small part of it, but it's certainly a part of it, and it's been extremely special for that.
What do you tell kids? Are you involved in any camps that the college does or anything like that, working with kids? I don't know. And what do you tell, if you are, or even if you're not, what do you tell kids? What do you think of the game today? Sure. And if they want to do well,
sure,
athletically and academically?
Yep. No, actually, that's one of the things over the last about 8 to 10 years, Coach Donovan's let me be the summer camp director. So I get a chance to be really, really involved with our summer camps, some of the bigger camps across the country. So, we have probably about 2,000 kids that come through Gainesville each summer for our basketball camps.
What ages are we talking about, too? Are they little kids or older?
We're talking anywhere from about 8 years old, being the youngest, all the way up through high school. So we've got a tremendous amount of kids, at different ages. And it's strictly a basketball camp. We're not doing, we're not swimming. We're not doing other stuff throughout the day. It's just basketball. But we do try to teach them some life lessons. We're going to teach them discipline for that 3 or 4 days that they're there. And certainly we want them to enjoy the game. I think what's been interesting is probably from the time I grew up and came off to college to now is how much basketball has grown in the state of Florida. I think a lot of people have looked at it in the past as kind of a football, maybe a baseball state. And I think that basketball has really, really developed. Why? I'm not exactly sure. I'd like to maybe give Coach Donovan a little credit for the success here in Florida. But it does seem like something that kids are really, really interested today is getting better at basketball. And I think the talent across the state and the coaching and everything has just gotten better and better over the last decade.
Do you find the kids that want to play NBA, when they see the players like LeBron and Carmelo and all the big names, that they're realizing more now that academics is important and that I need to do well in school? Or do you think it's been the same? They've realized that even back in the day.
Yeah, I think that and the rules keep changing, so it's hard to say what the future holds. But with the rules being now that you can't go straight from high school to the NBA, I think it's eye-opening for kids to realize that you have to do well in school if you want to play at the college level, which you pretty much need to do to be able to get to that next level. So you can be the greatest basketball player in the world right now in high school, but if you're not taking care of your academics, you're not going to be able to get into a college. So I do think that's really, really important today. And again, not just to play basketball, but for your life. And that's something we try to teach our guys, that even if you're lucky enough to leave the University of Florida and go play, let's say professionally or even in the NBA for 10 plus years, you're now going to be probably 35 years old. What are you going to do the rest of your life? So that's something that we do at Florida, that Coach Donovan preaches, that there is going to be life after basketball regardless. And what are you going to do with that? And that's why we really think it's important not only to get your grades to get into school, but to do a good job when you're in college.
And lastly, what does the future hold for you and your family?
I don't know for sure. I do know that, I came to school at the University of Florida not knowing if I'd stay there for a year, 4 years, and here I am 20 years later, so I don't know. I know that I've fallen in love with Gainesville, met my wife there, got married there, and have 2 beautiful kids there. And so we're extremely happy in Gainesville. As long as Coach Donovan will have me, I want to keep working with him. So, I'm not sure what the future holds, but I certainly want to be involved with basketball in some capacity. I have a passion for it, and one day at a time, but I'm really enjoying what I'm doing right now.
You look in pretty good shape. Can you still play a little game?
I actually do not play much basketball anymore, believe it or not. I am getting a little older. We try to, as a staff, we work out. We got a strength coach who's tremendous, who gets us all on workout plans. So I do try to work out quite a bit, but I have not played basketball in quite some time.
All right, Darren, thank you so much for taking time doing this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.